Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
How about that cigar?
How about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Corona Cigar Studios for episode 228 of How About That Cigar Live. Thank you so much for watching live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and if you're listening after the fact on the audio podcast, thank you so much for making How About That Cigar a part of your regular audio podcast rotation. And I heard there's a football game on right now.
I think maybe the national championship. Go blue.
I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I'm not really,
You're not into that?
No.
Let's get into somebody else that's not into sports.
Yeah, let's do it, Justin.
Let's get him. Justy, how you doing today, buddy?
Oh, do I get like an applause or something? Here we go.
Yeah, there we go. In this corner,
we
from
have
Ham Lake, Minnesota,
weighing in at 193 pounds.
Little bitch.
Justy.
What's up, brother?
How about that cigar?
So, yeah, the Michigan Wolverines are playing
the
Washington Wobbets.
What is that? What they're called?
No,
I have no idea.
I don't know either. They're Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a dog in the race. I never do in college football because my college didn't have a sports program. So
just badminton,
just music. That was it. It's just all music all the time. No sports.
You got to cheer for the Big Ten.
Well, I do. Growing up in Indiana, and I did watch a lot of college football when I was younger. I don't watch any of it anymore. Maybe I'll watch 2 games a year. That's really about it.
I watch it all the time. Well, you know why you watch it. If you play fantasy football, you know who's coming up. That's mainly the reason why I watch it.
That's why I'm not good at fantasy football. Reason number 724.
Well, you took second place.
I took second place, and so I did okay.
I took second place in one league and champion. Yeah.
In the Cigar Syndicate League. Shout out to John Basil for winning first place in the Cigar Syndicate League.
Nice job, buddy.
Brother. So for those of you guys that are watching live and commenting live, instead of watching the national championship game, or while you have the national championship game muted in the background, we appreciate it because it's the top 10 list tonight. We have a really cool thing going on tonight, so we appreciate that.
We do. We thank you a lot for being on tonight. Appreciate you. Love you too, brother. Nice to see you on.
Yeah, absolutely. So Green Bay
is in the playoffs.
Green Bay is in the playoffs.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it was ugly. I mean, the first half of the season, it looked like we were going to finish like 11-6.
Look at this little silver spoon kid.
How you doing, brother?
Buddy?
It's good to see you. Yeah, I was convinced halfway through the season, I was convinced that we were going to finish the season. So I said 11-6. I meant the opposite. It's 6-11.
Can I cut you off for 1 second?
Please do.
Because you're talking about Green Bay and I really want to hear it, but we'd like to say hello to our in-studio guest, in-studio
audience.
How you doing, buddy?
From Minnesota Herf Connection and Cigar Smokers of Minnesota. And Reds and Ashhole Club.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Jesus, thanks for being braving the snow, although I heard it melted kind of right away. Yeah, so it was nothing.
So let's get back to your Green Bay. And who they play next week?
Green Bay plays the Dallas Cowboys.
And I hate both those teams.
So
hate them.
It's going to be, it's not going to be, the Green Bay Packers have their work cut out for them because we were talking about this before we went live. Dallas has outscored every team in the NFL this season. They've scored more points on offense than any team in the NFL. And they, I believe, were 5th overall in least points allowed.
And they're
undefeated at home.
Yeah.
So this is not going to be easy at all.
But now this is my perfect scenario, and I'm sorry you don't want to hear this. Cowboys beat Dallas, and then Dallas wins another game, and they play the 49ers for the
NFC.
NFC.
Cowboys beat the Packers?
Yeah, excuse me. Cowboys beat the Packers.
I don't like that.
And then in the championship, NFC championship, they play the 49ers, and the 49ers destroy them. And then you can see all the Cowboy fans crying in the stands again. Oh, feel our pain. I'm a Jets fan.
Green Bay does. Oh, I got to turn off my Facebook.
Rookie. Hate the Packers a little less, yeah.
Green Bay. So I'm not. I'm saying yes. I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic. I just, on paper, it's not a good matchup. But Green Bay has a really good history against Dallas in playoff games. Traveling on the road to Dallas.
You should be really pumped for next year. Because Love is looking good. I hate to say it.
Love really made a lot of improvements. I know if you watch any football at all, they've talked about it like till your ears fall off, that it's the youngest team in the NFL by far.
How he's got the young receiver.
Yeah.
This and that.
So things are looking up. I mean, to go from Brett Favre in 92 to Aaron Rodgers in 2008 to Jordan Love in 2023. I like it.
I'm going to push the mic away. I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Coop's got a nice little comment right there. It says, however, Matt LaFleur has a terrible playoff history.
Yeah. So real quick, I got to say that, Coop, I love you, and you know that that's true. So I'm putting the word out that we are finally going to settle this once and for all. So if somebody watching right now, do me a favor, tag Fred Rui and tag Dave Burke from Cigar Jukebox. We are going to finally hash this out. I am offering the How About That Cigar podcast to host this debate, but I'm fine if Dave Burke wants to host it or if Coop wants to host it. I'm just saying we need to finally have this debate, once and for all. And
what's the debate?
The debate is that Coop thinks Matt LaFleur is a horrible head coach. He's said it multiple times. He calls him Matt LaFlop, and pretty much everybody with two brain cells to rub together disagrees with Coop on that particular.
Coop, I hate to say it, but he's got a point. He's done a pretty good job coaching this year.
So, but anyway, we will definitely have that debate, Coop, and we would love to have you a part of that.
He's in.
Fantastic.
Cool. So let's talk about another sport.
The Wild suck. And the T-Wolves are starting to show their true colors.
Ooh.
I might have to start watching basketball.
They're starting to lose.
Oh, they're starting to lose.
Last time, two times I checked, 2 out of 4 they lost so far. So I don't know. I ain't watching basketball. It's like watching soccer.
Maybe it's just a slump. I don't know.
If they score a little more.
I don't know. Justin, that you're in this lush tobacco field with gorgeous blue skies behind you, and
look at how wonderful that is now.
Just incredible.
Nice and warm. It's like 80 degrees out here right now. 80% humidity. My VPD's at 1.0. Everything's growing great right now. A little garden update here. So yeah, we're looking good.
Nice. As it should be.
Hold on. Tom, what are you talking about? Did they let Belichick go?
No, well, I don't. I mean, if there's an official word, there is, but I don't think there's an official word. But it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that they're going to. I mean, Belichick's going to say that he's resigning, but basically, him and Kraft are having these meetings behind the scenes where Kraft is saying you have to resign. Pretty much.
You know where he's going to wind up?
Not the Jets.
No, I think he's going to go somewhere where they have a solid quarterback and a solid defense. He's going to go to the Chargers. He's going to go to the Chargers. Watch.
That's not a bad guess, actually.
You heard it here first. Ramos calls it.
Not a bad guess. Let's get into this.
What is it
before we move on? This is this week's mystery whiskey.
Bourbon, and we are lucky enough to have one of our viewers donate this next month's samples for him to try out. I have the list of all what they are.
Who is this mystery person? Are we allowed to say?
No, not until the end.
Okay.
Thank you very much to our mystery viewer who donated some samples.
But I never heard of penis juice as a bourbon, but I guess that's what that is, I guess.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, it's weird because It doesn't seem familiar.
It doesn't have
No, this is like we talked about it before we went live. It's really light in color.
Mhm.
It actually doesn't smell a whole. I mean, it's got a few bourbon notes to it but it's really smells kind of like a milder Scotch.
I thought it was sweet like a rum when I smelled it. I didn't drink
So it's interesting. It's not super viscous. It's super light in color, little cloudy, but not like cloudy.
it. Have you sampled it yet?
I'm about to right now.
Let's see his
Let's
face.
give this a little Jeopardy music.
when lighting your cigar.
I was not expecting that. And I meant to take a really tiny sip, and I took a really big sip. So that threw me for a loop.
Well, what does it taste like? I can't taste it. Justin can't taste it. Jesus is drinking Diet Mountain Dew.
And I get to put on
Four Roses.
I get to put on my excuse hat right now that I was sick over New Year's. So things aren't really tasting and smelling the way they're supposed to right now.
I hear you. I spent the last 4 days in bed too.
It's really citrusy. It's
Really?
like I get a lot of bright notes that remind me of citrus or fruit. Little bit of sweetness. It doesn't seem insanely high proof. I mean, it seems, I'm just gonna guess, like somewhere between 110 and 115. It's thin. It really doesn't have a lot of texture to it. But it's got a lot of those wood, the oak notes, but also some like grassy notes that do remind me a little bit of Scotch, but it is okay. But then I get these things that kind of remind me of rum too. This one is like multiple personality disorder.
Yeah.
But maybe not in a bad way. It's not, I don't dislike it. I just need to, it's not what I was expecting at all when I first poured it into the glass, and it's kind of blowing my mind right now. But I like it because there's a lot going on. So that's cool. We're going to check back in on this a little bit later, but that's tonight's mystery whiskey.
So
Tom D wants to know, does it have a cask finish to it?
I think it might, whether it's sherry cask or
it's not Yellowstone.
rum cask, maybe.
Or possibly, rum barrel finish. Somebody.
Maybe.
Okay.
No.
But there is, it might have a finish, like the final, 3 to 6 months in some kind of a port, maybe. I know there's some port finished bourbons. There's some sherry finished bourbons. Maybe. It's interesting though.
So
There's a lot going
he's
on.
drinking that. I'm smoking a pina. Where is that? Right there. Justin, what are you smoking, bud?
Right now I have the rest of this Eleanor Rose from Sereno Cigars,
And you're drinking
up next we got the Jake Wyatt Maverick.
Oh, nice.
And,
they have a new.
Did you smoke that one yet, Justin?
Nope.
So yeah, I smoked the one that they gave us at PCA. I liked it a lot. I think it's a really good cigar. So I hope you like that one.
I got a 1919 as always.
And Jesus, what are you smoking?
Beer. You say a Java Mint? Is that what you said? Oh, okay.
Acid.
I misheard you. Room 101,
Room
the Johnny
101.
Tobacco Knot. Is
Johnny
that the
Tobacco
Connecticut?
Yeah.
Connecticut, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And Raul and I swapped cigars. I gave him one and he gave me
You
this
swapped what?
cigars.
Swap.
Okay, I
Well,
think it
spit too, that's why we
too.
both
I mean,
been
I don't-
sick.
I don't-
So this is the Espinosa Murcielago TAA
Exclusive.
exclusive 2023.
And that is a fabulous cigar.
So I am, and actually,
Why don't we toast it?
I think it's time for the toast cam. Let me get,
do that. We do Drew State, whatever you want to do.
let's get Saka's. Oh yeah, let's do
Go to Drew.
let's go to Drew.
Good call, producer. I fucking love you. You're
Fuck, the guy is
Incredible.
on it. All right, so it's time for our main segment of the evening. I'm just hands up in the air
Hands
because
up.
just celebrate Green Bay being the playoffs.
Oh no,
You know.
Are you on a roller coaster ride?
Hey,
it's always a roller coaster.
it's-
Right, us
right,
together.
being a football fan, it's a roller coaster
Well,
ride.
being a Green Bay fan, but
Yeah, that's true, especially this year. All right. Main segment of the evening brought to us by our friends at Drew Estate. Originally introduced, they originally introduced Chateau Real in 2007. Not long after the launch, this cigar brand mysteriously disappeared, and the story became that only of folklore, legend, and even controversy. Now, Chateau Real makes a triumphant return exclusively at Drew Diplomat digital retailers. A luxurious blend crafted to highlight the cigar's Connecticut shade forward flavor. Its balanced blend of well-aged Nicaraguan binder and filler tobaccos are wrapped in a beautiful Connecticut shade wrapper leaf. This cigar is available in Robusto, Toro, and Churchill only at Drew Diplomat online program retailers. Presented in 20-count boxes. For more information, please visit drewestate.com. And now, this beautiful Espinosa Murcielago TAA exclusive 2023. I'm going to fire that up. Let me grab our little Sasquatch friend for the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Toast Cam. Here we go. See, ever since I tore up a couple tendons in my arm.
It's still hurting?
It's still hurting. Yeah. Don't get old, kids. Don't get old.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's get this guy fired up on the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Toast Cam. When lighting your cigar, it's important to be patient, pay close attention to detail, and focus on the tobacco. In the same way, Steve Saka brings those same qualities to the ultra-premium cigars of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Patience, close attention, and focus on the tobacco are the qualities that Saka and Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust have become known for. From Sober Mesa to Umbagog, Dunbarton has a blend that will fit your palate, your mood, and any occasion. Visit DunbartonCigars.com to learn more. Guy's got a nice voice.
I want him to sing to me while sweet nothings while I'm in bed.
So,
the problem is when he sings, it sounds more like James Gum from Silence of the Lambs. So it's a little disconcerting.
Michigan's up 17-10 so far.
I'm not shocked by that.
I want him to win. I want a big team.
Yeah, I want
Michigan
Michigan to win. I want Michigan to win.
Before we go to the 12-team playoff next year.
Good evening, Chad.
What up, T?
Chad, Alec, gentlemen,
Alec,
ladies.
how you doing, brother?
Thanks for watching.
We appreciate you guys.
Yes.
A whole bunch. You guys
Absolutely.
don't even know.
It is, man, 2023. So like officially this is, even though we're in the calendar year 2024, this is officially the last show of the 2023 season for How About That Cigar when we present the top 10 list.
What a ride it's been.
It has been a crazy year. And honestly, when life hands you lemons, you
make Audie Palmer.
You bring them back to Target and return them. No, I don't know. No, it's just been a crazy year, but honestly, we're excited. Things are looking up. We got a great group, and this year so we look at the top 10 cigar of the year list. It's really my list, because I've been doing the lion's share of the cigar reviews that are published on howaboutthatcigar.com. But before we get into the list, like the official list, if you want to use that term, the How About That Cigar list, we have Justin and Raul, who also, smoke a lot of cigars themselves. Maybe. Justin, let's start with you and talk us through, some of the cigars that you smoked this year that really
stood out.
Yeah, that you would put on your list.
I did a top 5, just real quick, simple.
Love it.
Short and sweet and simple, but some notables that are probably some heavy hitters from this year, that probably everybody's heard of, but I think probably get their store set for maybe one of them. But let's start off with my number 5. I went with the HBTC Hot Cake Golden Lime.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to get a Connecticut in there on this top 5 that I made real quick. So that was a good morning smoke with my coffee, Sunday morning kind of deal. I like to have my coffee in the morning black with a good Connecticut on the weekends. And
nice.
That's kind of how we did it. Number 4 from Espinosa Cigars, the Espinosa 10-year anniversary
Oh, God, I love that cigar.
That one
So
stood out
good
to me, and yeah, that was a good one overall.
Nice.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with the Joya de Nicaragua, the Cinco de Cinco.
Very nice.
Another solid one. I was very thoroughly impressed with that. Enjoyed it all the way to the finish.
Yes.
Number 2, you guys probably have this on your list, but I'm going with the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, Mi Querida Black in the Papasaka size. So I did like the Mi Querida Black in general, but that Papasaka hits. So.
Love it.
And then number 1, this one's going to be harder to get your hands on out there and a little bit more in the upper echelon price range, but you know which one this is going to be. It's stuck with me ever since I tried the first one. We had Jeremiah on the show from Marifel Cigar, the Mier Master Blend.
Yeah.
And that was a solid, best Cameroon cigar I've had, hands down, and probably that's my best cigar of the year that I've had. So
such an incredible cigar. I'm with you 100%. Yeah. I agree. It's like sometimes you, and we were lucky enough to be able to smoke it a second time.
Right.
So and you're like, okay, was that first one just a fluke? You know, whatever was I just in a good mood? So it just tasted better. No, that cigar is absolutely legit,
phenomenal.
So it just incredible.
I did like the shorter size in that one than the longer one. I have to say that. Yeah, the Robusto I did like better. I don't know if it was a Toro was the second one.
Toro was the second one.
Yeah, so I think that double Robusto or Robusto or whatever that was. I did like that one better. I have to say.
Okay.
Well, that I didn't put on my list because that's like a celebratory cigar. Not everybody gets to smoke it. So that's in my
unicorn. Is that your unicorn list?
Unicorn list. Yeah, thank you. That's perfect. It's in my unicorn list.
Yeah.
But my number 10 is Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Excuse me. The Halligan.
Oh,
That
Halligan.
he did from
it's a really nice
Tobaccology. Number 9 is Blackwork Studio Hawaiian Hornet in a Robusto. I think I shared that with you guys.
Yes, sir.
Number 8 is Viaje Piña, which I'm smoking right now in the Robusto size. Number 7 is the Freud Cigar Company Alter Ego. Yeah. In the Toro. That's a good cigar. Very good cigar. It would have been higher up, but that's another one that's $27-$28 that you're not going to go out and buy every day. Number 6 is Espinosa TAA that you're smoking right there.
Really nice cigar. It's starting out great for me.
And this number 5 is if I can only smoke one cigar all the time. Price value is great. I love the story behind it. I love who sells it. It is Tobaccology, Toro, and they only have one size, and it's made by Oscar Veladores. I think I said that right.
No, but it's okay.
I butcher names all the time.
It's all right, bro.
Number 4 is Dapper El Borracho in the Toro.
Yeah.
I've smoked a shit ton of those this year. They're phenomenal.
That's a good blend.
My number 3 is Dunbarton Papasaka.
No. Oh, yeah. Dunbarton. Sorry. Papasaka. Yeah.
The big one. Saka Khan. Excuse me.
Saka Khan. So last year's. Okay.
And I hate that size.
Giant cigars.
Giant cigars. I'm much more of a Lancero or a Corona guy.
Yeah. But
I smoked it the first time. I loved it. I smoked both sizes.
Yeah.
And I just keep going back to that. Number 2 for me is Romacraft Quadgenario.
I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it.
And he only makes it in a Robusto size. I love that cigar. I wish I would have bought 2 boxes instead of 1.
Yeah.
But they weren't cheap. Anybody in this room or anybody that knows me.
No surprise whatsoever.
The number 1 cigar on my list
Let me guess.
The Room 101 14th anniversary.
Ooh.
Boom.
I thought I was going to say the Halligan maybe, but
no, that was number 10. That was number 10.
I didn't get you.
Yeah,
I got you there.
I haven't been able to
14th anniversary. Yeah.
The Halligan, I've only smoked about 3 or 4 of them. Okay. But that Room 101, I'm probably at 2 boxes now.
2, yeah. That cigar blew, because when you told me, because I knew it was out, but you said, oh, you gotta try one of these, and then I think you gave me one, or somebody gave me one.
I probably gave you one.
And I thought I knew it was going to be a good cigar because I've enjoyed the Room 101 anniversaries before, but this one is really special, like crazy good. So and really limited, but there are still. I've seen them on the shelf.
Yeah.
I've seen them on the shelf a little bit, so they are still out there.
And I was really worried when he went to was it General?
General, yeah.
When he went to General, and sometimes people lose their way, but not him. When I seen him at the PCA, I'm like, hey, what happened? Are you going to change who you are? He goes, nope.
No,
they open up the candy store to me. I can do whatever I want, and that cigar hits.
I love it. Well, those are great, great choices. So this list that we're going to go through right now, this is, we call it the How About That Cigar list. It's my list, but we'll talk after we're done going through the list about how things are going to change a little bit in 2024. But let's do this.
Let's do it.
It is time. So let's jump into the How About That Cigar 2023 Top 10 Cigars of the Year list. All right, starting at number 10. This is one Justin mentioned already, as a matter of fact. Do you find it?
Oh, you had them out of order here. Got you.
Oh, sorry about that.
We know 9 and 10.
Number 10.
Number 10, Justin mentioned it already. Joya de Nicaragua, Cinco de Cinco, Corona Extra. Now, we got a sample of this cigar in the Toro size at the PCA trade show. And I honestly hadn't even gotten around to smoking the sample from the trade show. But then, because it's just busy. Life gets busy. Then we're at Perfect Ash here in the Twin Cities area. And Patrick has a couple sizes of the Cinco de Cinco on the shelf. And, I see a Corona Extra. Of course, I'm going to gravitate to that. And I get by 3 of the Corona Extra, smoke 1 at the shop, and then brought the other 2 home, let them sit for a little while in the humidor. And I just really enjoyed it. Like Justin said, I really enjoyed that cigar. It's not, it's a mid-price point cigar, not overly expensive.
$14?
Yeah, I think about 14 for that size. But it smokes really well. It's actually a slow burner for for a Corona size, especially in like a soft box press. A lot of times you would expect a cigar like that to burn a little quicker. It was a nice slow burner, and just great flavor, great aroma, great construction. And this is, interestingly enough, the second time in the history of How About That Cigar that a Joya cigar has been on the list. The Joya Cinco de Cádiz was on the list back in 2019.
I have yet to smoke the Cinco de Cinco yet.
Nice cigar.
I'll grab a couple when I go visit our boy Patrick.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
That's a good blend. All right, moving. Sorry, I don't know why the numbers on the pictures got out of
It's okay.
order.
We're
Sorry
good.
about that.
We got a great producer to figure that shit out. Watch
We have
him.
a great producer. He can get it all figured out. Coming in at number 9 on the 2023 How About That Cigar Top 10 list is Room 101 Johnny Tobacconat Robusto.
Our buddy Jesus is having right
That's
now.
right. That's right. It's so this cigar is, first of all, it's inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
This is a low price cigar.
Under $10.
Under $10, under $8, I think. I think it might be under 8. I can pull that up.
Yeah,
but
if you're looking for a solid Connecticut, that's takes the pick right there.
Yeah.
For a good budget stick,
Yeah. And really good. It's really well constructed. If you go back to Matt Booth's earlier days, the Davidoff days when he did the Johnny Tobacconat back, I want to say 2016, that was also a very good cigar. This, if you remember that cigar and you really loved that cigar, this new Room 101 Johnny Tobacconat is not the same cigar, but it's still a very good one. This new blend is very good. Inexpensive, easy to smoke. This would even be a cigar that you could easily give to somebody who is, say, not a super experienced cigar smoker. It's not something that they have to worry about being too strong or too heavy or anything like that. This cigar comes in at $8.99 MSRP. It scored a 90 in our review, but just great creamy citrus, baking spices, cedar, roasted nuts, little bit of mild spice, but not too much. So young and old, experienced and inexperienced cigar smokers alike. This is a good one, and inexpensive enough where you can buy a lot. So moving right along, number 8 on our 2023 How About That Cigar top 10 list is the Apostate Cigars, the Sword of Laban. Now, this cigar,
that one's good.
So we found out about Apostate Cigars a couple years ago at the 2022 PCA, the first time we met them, and they're a new brand.
Good dudes, really good.
But they're good people, and they're working with good factory. And this blend, now pack a lunch and just clear out a couple hours of your day, because this is a long cigar. I mean, this is like a true traditional Churchill, like a 7.5 by 47. It's a long cigar, so be prepared to really carve out some time in your day, sit down and relax with it. But it transitions. There's you get different flavors as the cigar kind of goes through. And it does have just that sort of nice ramping up of strength at the end. It never gets really strong at all. It kind of stays in that medium realm, but it's just got, the construction was ridiculous. I mean, when I was smoking this cigar, I was able to get, ash chunks. Not that I really focus on this, but the ash holds on for a long time. The burn line stays clean. It never unraveled. It never cracked. And which up here, whether it's humid in the summer or dry in the winter, you guys know you can, especially the longer a cigar smokes, if it's a 8-inch or 7-inch cigar, the longer you smoke it, the more it heats up and the temperature and humidity changes. It's not uncommon to get splits up here. This cigar, I didn't have any issues with that.
And sometimes you just got to let it sit out for a little bit before you smoke it to acclimate to your whatever environment you're going to be smoking in, right? I see that does help me for the winter time, because I smoke in the garage, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I'll let it sit for at least 20, 30 minutes next to my heater in the garage to make sure, we don't get that unnecessary crack sometimes. Sometimes you can't help it, but it helps me sometimes,
Yep.
Yeah.
Same here.
So that cigar I was just really happy with, and I loved the way that it smoked. Again, new company, but I have enjoyed what they've done the last couple of years. And this cigar caught my attention and held it throughout. If I'm not mistaken, I think it took me just shy of 2 hours for this cigar. And I really, really enjoyed this one a lot. So
that was a good one. I did have that probably about a month or so ago, I think.
So now we are moving to number.
How you doing, Paul?
Number 7, I believe.
Yeah, numbers.
Number 7 on the How About That Cigar top 10 list for 2023 is the EP Carrillo Allegiance Confidant. This was an early contender. This one was reviewed in January. So this was an early contender. And you just never know, because this, everybody knows, if you pay attention to cigars at all, EP Carrillo's had a great run, 2 cigars of the year in the last 4 years, I believe, for Cigar Aficionado. So when this new line came out with the Allegiance, you just never know. Are they gonna have another hit with this, or is it gonna just be one that doesn't necessarily measure up to the same success that the other ones had? I really enjoyed this cigar. And I've smoked a few different sizes of this cigar, but this particular one, this Confidant size, I really enjoy it. Easy to smoke. True. For my palate, it's a true medium cigar. It's not too mild. It never gets too strong. But if I'll look up the
actual
specs on it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that next.
It's not even an insanely expensive cigar either.
And Eric V says it's the same as the Milano on paper and from the same factory.
Yeah, which that stands to reason why it's gonna it's going to smoke well, and it's Melanio is a very good cigar. But so the EP Carrillo Allegiance Confidant comes in at $13.10. At least that was as of the time that this was published, which was April. Oh, it was April. I thought it was January. April of 2023.
And what size is that Confidant?
It's a Toro size. The Confidant is
6x52.
It is 6x52 soft box press. Yeah. Score was a 91. There's this nice kind of charred oak, almost barrel, like oak barrel kind of aroma to it. A little baking spice, a little brown sugar, a little coffee. Enjoyable cigar.
Very complex.
It does have complexity, especially the second half. The second half, this one really, when it warms up, a lot of stuff starts happening with the blend on this one. So that was number 7. Moving on to number 6 on our 2023 top 10 list. That is the AJ Fernandez New World Dorado in the Toro size. This one, I think I'll go back and
beginning of last year.
This was like January.
Yeah.
And this cigar I heard about from some other people kind of in cigar media that are friends of mine, and they said, you got to try this. And I knew that it was out, but I just hadn't taken the time to try it yet. So I went to a local shop. I picked some of these up. I ended up giving this cigar a 91. And this comes in at $12 even. And we'll talk a little bit about this later. We have a thing with scoring called PAD, point allowance differential. So basically, if it's a plus number, if it's +1 on the PAD scale, that means it smokes, in my opinion, better than its price point. So a $12 cigar, I would say I'd pay $15 or $16 for this cigar, and expect that price would be legitimate on a store shelf. And now, if a cigar gets a minus on the PAD scale, that doesn't mean it's a bad cigar. That just means, in my opinion, it smokes not up to the price point necessarily. But this one got a +1. It's got a lot of those AJ Fernandez, it's got those AJ Fernandez notes, like earthiness, but it's also got some cedar and mild spiciness, a little cocoa, and this little interesting kind of barnyard funk going on, the mustiness, you guys know what we mean when we say something like that.
I smoked that in the Lancero.
Oh, really? I haven't smoked the Lancero.
I haven't had Stogies. It's
Do
pretty
they?
good.
Okay.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I got to give that one a try. Definitely. So that was number 6. Now, number 5. We're in the top 5 on our 2023 Cigar of the Year list. Number 5 is the Espinosa Knuckle Sandwich Connecticut Toro. Now, interesting, and this is not planned. This is not, there's no arrangement. Last year's number 5 cigar on the How About That Cigar list was the Knuckle Sandwich Habano Corona Gorda. It just happened to work out that way. This was, but this year, I enjoyed the Maduro. I enjoyed the Habano so much that it made it on the list last year. So again, you go to smoke the new one that comes out and you think, man, is this one really going to be living up to what I've come to expect? And this Connecticut Toro in the Knuckle Sandwich blew me away. Ended up being a 91 for a score. It comes in at $13.50 MSRP. But this one had one of the things that sometimes you get from a Connecticut shade wrapped cigar, you get what I get sometimes is these aromas and almost like a brightness that reminds me of citrus for whatever reason. So I got some of that from this cigar, but also like toasted bread and creaminess and a little bit of earthiness and some mild spice that, you come to expect from Espinosa. But I loved this cigar. And the Toro, usually, me, Corona Gorda, the Toro just, I think in this blend just sings. And tons of smoke output. That's one of the things that I had in my notes about this cigar was the smoke output on this cigar was absolutely incredible. But it wasn't like that fake, overcooked tobacco smoke. It was just rich, flavorful, aromatic smoke from this one that, man.
What was the PAD on this?
This came in at +0. And basically if the PAD score is 0, that means I think it's priced just right. Like it smokes. I feel like it smokes exactly like the price where the price point is, which is not a bad thing by any stretch. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. So moving into the top 4, number 4 on the list this year is Foundation Cigar Company, the Olmec Claro Robusto. Now I've smoked both the Claro and the Maduro in the Olmec. I only did a review and published a review of the Claro. One of these days I may get to publishing a review, but I think the main reason I just really stuck to my guns on the Claro is I felt like the flavors and aromas from the Claro in this Olmec blend were just a lot more concise and cleaner. It was just a better overall smoking experience. And let me pull up the stats on this guy right here. So yeah, the Olmec Claro Robusto, it comes in at $13.50. This one landed at 0 on the PAD scale, so priced accordingly. The review score was a 92. And this one has, even though it's the Claro and that it's from a blend perspective, there are a lot of similarities between the Olmec Claro and the Olmec Robusto. But one of the things that the Claro threw in was this interesting kind of, at least what I got was sort of like roasted pecans, roasted almonds, roasted nuts kind of thing, which I didn't really get any of that from the Maduro, but I did get the dark cocoa and the pepper and the charred wood and espresso and earthy notes that I got in both the blends. But that Claro really seemed cleaner and more just everything, all the flavors seemed to land, where the Maduro just seemed a little more muddy. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but all the flavors landed in the Claro. So I really, really enjoyed that one a lot. All right. Top three now. All right, guys. The number 3 cigar on How About That Cigar's 2023 top 10 list is the Romacraft Intemperance Volstead VO 1920 Izzy Einstein. That's a long cigar. And it's funny. That's a really long cigar name for a really short cigar. This is... so I'm going to pull up the stats on this cigar right now.
That almost made my top 10. I like that cigar a lot.
And so that one of the things that I love about Romacraft cigars is they give you a lot of variety, at least with any of their regular production stuff. They give you a lot of variety as far as vitolas. They have perfectos. They have, fatter cigars. They have skinnier cigars, longer cigars, shorter cigars. They give you a lot of variety. And usually I like the smaller ring gauges, but I tend to like longer length cigars. But these Romacrafts, like if you go back a few years to when they came out with the original Whiskey Rebellion, I loved and still do love that Hamilton, which is the little short size. It's the same size as this Volstead Izzy Einstein. There's something about it, and yet when they came out with the Baca I actually like in the bigger, fatter sizes.
I love it in the Corona.
And it doesn't work. I mean, I like it, but for some reason, the blend in the Baca works a lot better for me in the fatter ring gauges. But this one, this Izzy Einstein, the Volstead, it's a short smoke, so you can get quick 30 minutes out of it up here in Minnesota. So if you don't want to be outside,
Dog walker.
yeah, if it's something you can walk the dog with quickly and not freeze your nuts off up here in Minnesota, but still get a good cigar out of it.
And not even looking at the PAD on this one, I guarantee it's smokes way more.
MSRP is $675.
Yeah, it smokes like a 12.
On the, so this was +2 on the PAD. So it smokes like a $9 cigar. You know, I think it smokes like a $9 cigar. And but again, this is one of those that I love because the blend is really clean. All the aromas and flavors just seem to land where they're supposed to land. It doesn't feel like there's anything in the blend that muddies anything up or covers anything up. And
props up to Skip too for put out such a great product and keep that price.
All his cigars are like that.
Yeah, I mean,
kudos to you, Skip. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
And Mike,
so
don't forget Mike.
Oh yeah, don't forget Mike.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And the whole team.
Uncle Mike's a shit.
So yeah, 92 on the original review of this cigar, and you know they're readily available. I still have an older box that's maybe half full of the Whiskey Rebellions in my humidor, and I have a few singles left from when I bought these cigars to do the review. But you can bet that I'll be adding on some more of these in my humidor. Highly recommended.
And that's a core line now, right?
Core line, regular release. So now we're at number 2 on the list. Number 2 for How About That Cigar 2023 is the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Mi Querida Black Papa Saca. Now, after I'll discuss after we talk about number 1.
Yeah.
Why this cigar ended up at number 2. But this is a great cigar. Like you were talking about the original, the Saca Khan, the Mi Querida Black.
Yep.
And that is also a very, very good cigar. But you know that, for me, that 46 ring gauge is it's like heaven. So this cigar, I was so excited when Steve said he was coming out with this.
Coincidentally, I didn't see your top 10 list either, and that was my number 2.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, it's
main line too. I'd like it, but like I said earlier, for some reason, the Saca Khan.
Yeah.
And I hate big cigars.
And they're both really good blends. I just like this one better. It's honestly I'm not going to rule out the fact that there may be some like Vitola bias in there for me a little bit, but it's okay. I can have Vitola bias. I'm all right with that.
Hey, you're human.
But it scored a 93. Now this one is a little higher on the price scale. This one's at $15.95 MSRP.
What did you get PAD?
0. So I believe that it smokes like a $16 cigar. I really do.
I believe you're right.
So I don't have any problem. I don't think the cigar is priced incorrectly.
Nope.
So I say, that's why it got a 0 on the PAD scale, because I think it's priced right. 93 on the original review. This cigar, I believe, at least according to the way that it smoked, they both smoked for me. I think the Saca Khan, the original, the bigger one, is stronger than the Papa Saca. But some people I've talked to have said the Papa Saca is stronger. And that's just, everybody's got a different palate. Cigars hit everybody in a different way. I felt like the Saca Khan was stronger. But the flavors,
the flavors are more there on that smaller ring gauge too, maybe.
I think so, but that's just kind of the way. And again, that may be like the
palates.
Vitola bias,
Their palates.
But there's a ton of pepper, it's a spicy cigar, but you get, these mocha kind of coffee and chocolate together. Even this weird, like dried fruit thing that I wrote down in my notes. That's like, I don't get that a lot, but it really kind of, I got a lot of that sort of
almost like a fig
or raisin or something in that neighborhood.
Yeah, okay.
And I try never to specify, because it's just sort of what hits my brain when I'm taking notes. But there was also this molasses kind of dark, rich sweetness thing that I just really, really loved about this cigar. So that was number 2. And we have finally arrived.
We need a drum roll for number 1.
We don't have a drum roll. I don't have a drum roll sound effect yet. All right. Oh, no, keep doing that.
Oh, that was it. I was done.
Oh, was that it?
Oh,
All right.
I'm out of breath already.
For How About That Cigar, the number 1 cigar of the year for 2023 is the Tatuaje Tuxtla Lomo de Cerdo.
Ooh.
Now, this one,
I did not see that.
I know there are going to be some people surprised by this. There may even be some people upset with that with this. I understand. This cigar, I will tell you this. I'm more surprised by the fact that this cigar is number 1 than any of you are, because I was such a massive fan when the Tatuaje pork tenderloin first came out. I absolutely went nuts for that pork tenderloin cigar. And then when it was revealed at the 2022 PCA trade show that they were going to be doing these San Andreas sort of reimaginings of some of the beloved Tatuaje blends, when I heard that when Pete said we're doing a Lomo de Cerdo, which is pork tenderloin, but with the San Andreas wrapper, I was honestly like, no, that cigar is not going to be any good. I'm not going to like that cigar, because I was so biased because I love the original pork tenderloin so much. And then
hard to beat.
I honestly, the first couple of those cigars that I bought, I sort of bought like grudgingly, like, I don't know, fine, I'll buy a couple. I was blown away by the first one that I smoked. And then I smoked the second one I bought, and then I went back and I bought more. And then I went back again and I bought more and more. And I just, and this was, so it was the 4th cigar that I smoked of this Tatuaje Lomo de Cerdo that I sat down with my phone and a glass of water and just took notes. And I was just, I mean, they were so consistent, and something about it, I did not expect the blend to do well with that San Andreas wrapper, but it just landed for me. I gave it a 94, which was the highest score of the year. It comes in at $12. I gave it a +1 on the PAD scale. I think this cigar could easily sell for $16 to $18. It's sort of a long Robusto, like just over 5" by 52 ring gauge, I want to say. But it's got so many espresso notes and mixed with spice and earth, and you don't get a lot of this in darker, richer cigars, but I also got some of that citrus. I got this weird, and I just say weird just because I was completely not expecting it. I got graham cracker. Like, I'm smoking it, and I was like, why does I feel like I just ate like a s'more? Like, it was the weirdest thing.
Of course you love it, Tim. Of course you love it.
Thank you.
Tat whore.
Excuse me. So let's go through.
Let me tell you a story about that cigar.
Yeah, go for it.
So I didn't think I was going to like it either. I bought a 5-pack from Omar.
Yeah.
Smoked a couple of them. I'm like, oh, he's not going to be around for another 4 or 5 years, right? Because they put them out was it 4 years? They put the pork tenderloin out or pork chop?
I honestly don't remember how. I think it was like 3-ish, 5-ish years. I don't remember.
So I went back. I got 15 sitting in the cooler, and I didn't want to smoke anymore because I was worried that they were all going to be gone. It's a solid cigar.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite Tatuaje. But let's see what it looks like in a year or two.
I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I was honestly kind of expecting that. I don't want to say I was expecting to be disappointed. I was just expecting it to be sort of sort of average, and not. I was focusing so much on the fact that I thought it was going to miss the mark of the original pork tenderloin that I wasn't even thinking about what that San Andreas wrapper was going to do to that blend. And I just think it worked so beautifully. I was floored by it. But I want to go into a little bit of the criteria, because the criteria for, there's a separate list published with criteria for being on the top 10 list, and it's every year there's a little bit different, but also it's interesting to see.
You were also going to talk about why that number 2 is not number 1 and number 1's not number 2.
So that's kind of part of this whole criteria thing. So just to take you through kind of the way the review cycle went for How About That Cigar in 2023. We had scores that ranged from, our lowest scoring cigar was 80, and our highest scoring cigar was 94, which ended up being number 1. That's actually a smaller overall range. I mean, we've had cigars in the past down in the low 70s. So this range was actually narrower than we've seen in a while.
So we're saying cigars might have got better this year?
I think, yeah, I agree. I think now I don't think it was drastic, but I feel like some of the major quality issues we were seeing in 2022 have started to get better. I agree. I
think everybody's back on their feet again, and you know, out to putting new releases out, and there's a lot of new releases out this year. Overall, I mean, it's like, how do you pick a top 10? You know, like,
it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, we had, so
I did smoke a 65.
You saw the lowest scoring. You smoked a 60. Well, it was 45, wasn't it? 25.
25.
So he's shit, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So the lowest priced cigar that we smoked that we published a review of, that scored a 92. And the highest, and that was the Roma Craft Volstead. The highest priced cigar that we smoked scored 88. So price isn't everything. The total points that were awarded for the year were 3,101. That averages out to 88.6. So the average score of every cigar reviewed during the year was 88.6, which is just barely higher than last year. Last year's average was 87.8. The most commonly awarded score was 88. The highest PAD was the Roma Craft Volstead at +2, and the lowest was -2, and that was multiple cigars that got -2. The most common was 0 on the PAD scale, which is good because I feel like people are generally pricing their cigars accordingly. Most of them were from Nicaraguan factories. The prices range from $6.75 to $50 per cigar MSRP. And the average landed at $14.55, which surprisingly was actually just a little bit lower than last year's average MSRP. So I was a little surprised by that.
2 questions on that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's changed because there was only one person smoking this year on that list?
No, because last year's list.
You smoked just as many cigars last year?
No, all the reviews published last year were my published reviews.
Okay.
So from that standpoint, it was basically the same. But and this is interesting too, and I always like to say it because we buy a lot of the cigars that we review, but we also are given samples from companies. Sometimes samples get reviewed and published. There are other places that buy all their cigars to review. We just can't afford to do that. And there are some companies that are kind enough to give samples. And we always ask, are these cigars suitable for review? And if they say yes, then we will review those cigars. So the average score of cigars that How About That Cigar paid for was 89.45. the average cigar the average score for cigars that were provided by companies for us to review was 87.4. So, that it doesn't mean anything. I don't know. You guys decide. We always strive to just be unbiased, sit down, smoke a cigar, and just focus on the flavor and the aroma and the burn and construction and draw, and that's it. Don't worry about who made it, who gave it to us. Just focus on what's going on with the cigar in that moment. Now, the fact that the Tatuaje Tuxtla Lomo de Cerdo is a limited edition cigar. Some people are going to be confused or maybe even a little upset by the fact that cigar is number one. I understand that. We have never said that cigars that are limited edition are not eligible for the top 10 list. What we've always said is they could be eligible for the top 10 list, but there are mitigating factors that go into the decision. And so if you look at like our top or at the beginning of the list, if you look at number 10, 9, 8, and even cigars that didn't make the top 10 list that were on the cusp, we had, I think, 6 or 7 cigars that scored a 90. So they would have all been eligible kind of in that same range where I ended up putting the Hoya Cinco de Cinco. Mm-hmm. We look at how much did I come back to buy those cigars out of my own pocket and smoke them just to enjoy them. How available are they? Are they easy to get? Can I get them at local shops? Can I find them at favorite online retailers? And that will take a cigar. If it's a cigar that we say, okay, I'm in a shop and I see this cigar and I know I've smoked it recently and really enjoyed it, I want to buy some more. That will take a 290s, and the one that I buy or smoke more, it'll put that over the top to get the next highest place on the list. That's really what it comes down to.
Is it fair to say that everything in the top 10 is box worthy?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I guess here's the exception, because from a scoring perspective for how about that cigar, a 90 to, I think it's an 81 to a 90. I call it, how about a fiver, buy a 5-pack of it. Anything 91 to 90 through 95 is how about a box, buy a box. So it doesn't necessarily have to be box worthy to be on the list. But like the Volstead, it sometimes price plays into it, because the Volstead scored a 92, which is within that box worthy scoring range, mm-hmm. but it's also within the box worthy price range. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's, such a low cost cigar. Definitely. Yeah. Buy those by the box. But everybody, it's going to depend on what you want from a smoking experience, what your budget is, because we never want anybody to spend irresponsibly on cigars. Stay within your budget, myself included. But so a couple things on the difference between number 1 and number 2. This was, even though the Tatuaje scored higher, I was honestly on the fence for like a week, looking at my notes and going back and smoking more samples. Like, should I put this cigar on the list? Because I was thinking I was not going to put the cigar on the list, that the Micarita Black Papasaka was going to be number 1, because it's a regular production cigar. This is what took it over the top for me. Was I had personally purchased and smoked a lot of the Tuxtla Lomo de Cerdo. So then I said, okay, I know that I've bought it a lot and I've spent my own money on it. So therefore I'm going to give that's going to regard into its placement. Second of all, I said, Cigars limited edition, but how difficult is it to actually get? So it's actually not as tough as you may think.
Well, when it first came out, everybody had it. It seems
So
like everybody.
So the way Tatuaje did it with this one was they didn't make this. They had the tobacco to make. I mean, they had a lot of the cigars already made, but they didn't have them final packaged and bundled and ready to ship. They went and they took orders for the cigars, and that determined how many they were going to do final packaging and shipping of. So, and there were a lot of shops that placed huge orders for this cigar.
Yes.
So I know for a fact of at least 2 shops here in the Twin Cities area that still have quite a few of the Tatuaje Lomo de Cerdo on the shelves. I know for a fact that our sponsors, Corona Cigar and Smoke Inn, still have them in stock. And multiple other online retailers that I searched, and I found at least 8 notable, well-known online cigar retailers that still have this cigar in stock. So therefore, yes, it's limited edition, but it's still readily available even now in January of 2024.
So your dilemma wasn't because you're afraid of the backlash from Saka, right?
No.
That's what Eric V says up here.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I mean,
That has no effect on us.
But we don't want to name. Like the Mirafell cigar is a prime example. Like if I were to sit down and actually take notes and review that cigar, it would be probably the highest score I've ever given a cigar. But I didn't. I thought about reviewing it. And actually taking notes and putting a score on the website. But I just, and maybe I will eventually, but that cigar is extremely high price point and extremely limited production and in a very limited number of retailers, not just in the United States, but also in Europe and Asia.
How do you think that would do on a PAD?
I think it would actually, it might lose a point because the price point is so high. I mean, we're talking depending on which blend of the Mirafell cigar it is. It could be
$5 to $100.
Yeah, it could be up there. So it's possible, but it's having a -1 on the PAD doesn't necessarily mean the cigar's not good. It also doesn't mean it couldn't possibly be eligible for a spot on the list.
Okay.
It just means that, in my opinion, or your opinion, or Justin's opinion, the cigar smokes a little bit less than what its MSRP is.
And Coop's got a good point there. He said Dojo made the point it's too hard to draw a line between limiteds as regular production. I wanted to get rid of the limiteds, but it is ultimately too hard.
It is. I agree, Coop. It's almost impossible. And here's the final reason why I wrestled with the decision, but finally said this is the cigar that's got to be number 1. And that is because tenderloin, the pork tenderloin, was released, and then it was released again a few years later, and then a few years later. I believe that even when the shops that currently still have stock of this cigar run out, that we're going to see it again. So therefore, it's not like a one and done, gone, limited edition or store exclusive or something like that. It's readily available, and I believe it will be available again, even when this current stock sells out.
All right, I got a question for you. Excuse me, guys, I'm a little hoarse. How do you think having all 3 of us critique cigars next year is going to change the list?
That's a good question. It may be a longer list.
Top 10.
We may do well, but it may be top 12, top 15.
And how are we going to work that all in?
So I think
do we all get?
I don't know. Okay. We're going to have a
to be continued
company meeting and figure out.
I'm just posing questions. I was thinking of it earlier too. I'm like, how are we going to do this next year with all 3 of us, doing the critiquing? And
so most likely what I would like to see happen is that each of us get assigned a cigar to review. and you'll be given that cigar either by me, who goes out and purchases it, or you'll purchase it and you'll get reimbursed from HBT Media or Justin will, and you'll be assigned to review that cigar. You'll review it and you'll score it, and I will talk through the.
We're gonna arm wrestle for it. That's what David says.
Arm wrestle. I like that. And then
I got your right arm. Let's go, buddy.
You'll and you'll score it, and then later in the year, when we get to what looks like are going to be the contenders for
the other two,
the top 10, the other two will smoke it and compare notes.
Paul already said it's going to be a great list because we got great palettes over here. So
Oh,
thanks, Paul.
I love that.
Thank you. Appreciate that, brother.
We try.
Oh, here we go. Calling it for next year. Room 101 15th anniversary will be towards the top because Raul's on it.
That's possible. It's possible. That one's super limited, though. That one's way more limited than the Lomo de Cerdo.
You think so? The room for the 14th anniversary one?
I think so. I don't know. I'd have to look at total production numbers. I don't know. But I'm trying to remember what else we were going to dig into with the list. But I think
Jesus, since you're here, give me your top 3 off the top of your head, if you can. Room 101, I agree with you.
The
Yes.
14th anniversary. Okay.
Jesus likes the Room 101.
Tuxla.
Okay.
What was the last one? The Black Madonna by Blackwork Studio.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a solid cigar.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up? You're thinking now. Your wheels are
There
spinning.
we go. David Floyd says individual reviews. All the top ones get re-smoked by all 3 with a combined score.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Way to go, Captain Obvious.
Because we definitely don't want to have like 3 different lists, like published Justin's
Not
list.
like just
and
now,
we
no,
want
we
we
want
just want
one.
our compiled.
Wait till you have the underrated by
List.
Luciano.
We have had it. Damn, by the way, Paul.
Yeah.
We have had it.
Oh,
Yeah, Paul.
You guys have had it.
We've had
I
it.
haven't got
Yeah,
mine.
you will though. We have some. We have some for you.
We have one for you, buddy.
Luciano came and hung out with us in an undisclosed location in Minneapolis.
Yeah, we sat around for a good 6 hours.
Oh yeah,
We had a few sticks and talked about a lot of things. Mainly, he gave a school to a few smokers that were less experienced than us.
yeah. It was great too because
Yeah.
they had so many questions, and Luciano was just an open book. He was happy to
Yep.
share information, and it was a good time.
And one of the guys happened to be a farmer, so he was asking him about all the agriculture
Yeah.
stuff, and that went down a whole different way. It was a pretty cool event. I'm sorry you couldn't make it, Justin.
Roads are bad.
Roads were
They
bad.
They were really bad.
Yeah, I got home
I
at
was worried about you getting home that night.
2:45.
Yeah, it took you an hour and a half to get home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I brought him to the airport it was slow going. It was like 40 miles an hour the whole way, even on the freeways. It's snoo-y,
Yeah,
but it
icy.
was a great time.
While we bring up the list, are we ready for the?
Yeah, let's bring up the graphic with all the cigars and we'll recap everything.
Okay.
So the top 10 lists for How About That Cigar, the year 2023. Number 10, we have the Joya de Nicaragua Cinco de Cinco Corona Extra. In number 9, we have Room 101 Johnny Tobacconut Robusto. And for the number 8 cigar, we have Apostate Cigars, The Sword of Laban. Number 7, EP Carrillo, Allegiance Confidant. Number 6, AJ Fernandez, New World Dorado Toro. Number 5, the Espinosa Knuckle Sandwich, Connecticut Toro. Number 4, Foundation Cigar Company, Olmec Claro Robusto. Number 3, the Romacraft Intemperance Volstead VO 1920 Izzy Einstein. Number 2, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, Mi Querida Black Papasaka. And the number 1 cigar of the year for 2023, the Tatuaje Tuxtla Lomo de Cerdo. So that is our list for the year. And
Can I be honest?
yeah,
I like this year's list more than I like last year's list.
oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Maybe because I smoked more of the stuff on this year's list than last year's list.
Oh, so last year's list you didn't smoke as much of those. So here's fresh bundle from Omar at Ramsey Smoke Shop. Not from, I paid for him, but
that was a Christmas present.
I'm scared to even. This is like have you fucked it up since then? This blade is like scary sharp, like scalpel sharp.
Yeah, it is. And
yikes!
A Christmas present from Daryl from
Whew.
Omar's buddy. Thank you, bud.
So I'm gonna pass out some of these cigars right now because they're delicious, and why not? You know, I just
one of the boxes you bought there.
Yes.
That's
as a matter of fact.
We'll tell you later. You got a knife right there.
I know. I'm trying to figure out.
He's scared.
I am scared of that knife.
Scared of that knife.
Trying to figure out the best way to.
Use the knife.
And yes, Eric B, we're still going to do the Numero de los Muertos.
We are, yes.
We always do el Numero de los Muertos.
Yeah, just want to get some of these cigars of the year out to people in the studio here. I love this packaging. It's just so cool, that butcher paper look to it and all that stuff. Just making a mess. Oh, look, a knife. Just gonna cut myself.
I can help you if you cut yourself.
Yeah, you have medical training.
I got a stapler.
Here, pass those out. Thank you, sir. All right. So, let's jump into it. It is now time for this week's Numero de los Muertos.
Hey, Jesus, bring your ass over here.
And as always, Numero de los Muertos, brought to us by our friends at Smoke Inn.
I don't know what it is, but I'm always hungry after that song.
All right, Numero de los Muertos, episode, what is this again? 228, episode 228. All right. The number is 24.
24. Kobe Bryant.
No. 24 people.
Oh.
I don't know. Is this average per year or is this total?
Is it in this country?
Annually. Approximately 24 people die from this.
Each year.
Each year.
Each
24
year.
people die.
On average, yeah.
And this is reality, right?
This is real, not fiction.
Okay.
Stranger than fiction.
So that's fiction there, David. Is this on land?
I would say it could be on land or it could be anywhere.
Not fertilizer?
Not fertilizer.
Okay. Fall in a well?
Not a well.
David Floyd?
Is it a fall?
No.
Are animals involved?
No.
Fall in a wood chipper. No, I don't think it's wood chopper.
I thought we did that one.
Maybe we did.
Yeah, we did that a couple months ago.
Helicopter
crash?
No, we did helicopter with Abe a few years ago.
Okay.
Hey, Dax. What's up, brother?
Hey, happy birthday, Dax.
Happy
Love you,
birthday,
buddy.
Dax. I will say
Killed by a spouse? Number's got to be way higher than that.
That's got to be way higher than that. It's not crushed by a vending machine. I don't remember what that number is, but I think we did that early in the life of How About That Cigar. Could be male or female.
Did we say what time this was in?
Every year.
Every year.
And, on average, 24 people a year are killed by this.
Killed by this
activity. Or this incident, this particular type of incident.
Food related?
Somewhat food adjacent.
Not natural gas explosion.
Not natural gas explosion.
Food adjacent.
My typing is always awful, David. I am the reason that. So God created two things for me: spell check and GPS navigation. I have the before, and I'm old, so I remember using paper maps and all that. I was a terrible navigator back in the day.
You have to take the highlighter and map out
your
trip.
I totally did. Yes, and I still missed it half the time.
Choking on a pork chop.
Not choking on a pork chop. That would have been a great one to do, considering the cigar of the year, or the cigar of the year.
Alcohol related?
Alcohol adjacent.
Eating poisonous blowfish sushi?
Not eating poisonous blowfish sushi. That would be a good one.
Stabbed by chopsticks?
Not stabbed by chopsticks.
Drive-through accident?
No. It's alcohol adjacent. It's food adjacent.
So
eating out?
No.
Can't be diabetes.
I'll say alcohol is involved, but it's not
the cause of it.
Drunkenness, intoxication is not a factor.
Oh, okay.
Heart attack in the drive-through? No.
No.
Okay.
The running of the bulls?
Is this worldwide?
Worldwide.
Oh, that's not. Man, that's a different story too.
Not disease related or anything like that.
No.
David, do you even know what a rave is?
So what are?
Do you even rave?
You're too old for raving.
What are? So like I said, it's alcohol adjacent. Alcohol is involved,
And food
but
adjacent.
intoxication is not a factor. So what things happen
from eating and drinking?
Eating and drinking connected to where alcohol is. There's something alcoholic that's there, but it's not intoxication or drunkenness that causes the death.
Alcohol manufacturing?
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In a restaurant getting held over and
No.
people are eating and drinking and they get shot.
No.
Mhm.
No weapons are involved.
Hey, Sush, you can help out.
Fight at a nightclub?
No fights.
There's 24 in Minneapolis that die a year.
Yeah. A day in Minneapolis. Trying to think of some hints I can give you guys.
Not drinking.
It's not related to the consumption of the alcohol, Eric. But alcohol is involved. It's not flaming shots. That is a good guess, Tom. Not flaming shots. Not falling into a corn silo.
We usually save it from that.
This is an activity that takes place prior to what would be the consumption of the alcohol.
Dinner?
No.
New Year's Eve parades are.
I'm going to say you're on the right track. Stick with that thought pattern.
And by track, you don't mean drag racing.
Not drag racing.
So, like a party, celebration,
Keep on that.
birthday party.
Just keep on the bandwagon.
Wedding?
On that celebratory direction. What's that?
Trample?
No.
Killed by the cork?
Yes.
Whoa!
David Floyd. One of our top fans on Facebook, by the way.
You know what? That some biscuit text me. He texted me too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
You know what you get for that?
I might have a little something for you, Dave.
I got a little something for you. That's
So-
in April.
Killed by on average, 24 people a year die from being hit by champagne corks.
It's got to be that they try to get out of the way and they fall back and smack their head, or
more people a year die from being hit by champagne corks than from poisonous spiders.
Okay. Interesting.
A Hong Kong billionaire, while celebrating his 50th birthday, died when he was struck in the head by a champagne cork. The exit velocity of a champagne cork could be up to 60 miles per hour.
Oof. I suppose if you get hit in the side of the temple or something.
Yeah.
Or in the eyeball.
Oof,
yeah. So when you open a champagne bottle, either point it, well, don't point it. Just keep your hand over the cork and just slowly twist back and forth until keep your hand over the top of the cork. And when it pops, just set the cork down on the counter.
Nobody's going to do that when they're celebrating a huge
I know.
Well, then sports game or something. They're
you got this
that
thing
shit up and it's going corks are flying everywhere.
Now you got these people who are sabering their champagne.
That's what he says. When the bottle gets sabered.
Well, that's that. I've never tried it. People always say, "Oh, you should try to saber the champagne."
Don't take it, he says.
All it takes is when you saber that bottle of champagne is for one tiny little piece of that glass to go inside the bottle and then into the drink that you take.
Yeah.
That's all it takes, and I'm not willing to mess around with that. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way and pull the cork out of it. I'm not sabering a bottle.
A quick update on the national championship game.
Oh yeah, right on.
Michigan 28 and the other team 13.
Okay, so
a full auto cork gun.
Okay,
that'd be fun.
Full. Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
All
right. So that was this week's Numero de los Muertos. Boom, boom, boom.
So,
yes.
You ready to guess what that is?
Oh, this here, yeah. I'm glad you said that because I was going to forget. So I am going to be really horrible at guessing this. It doesn't taste like, again, excuse hat on. I was sick over New Year's, but it doesn't taste or smell similar to anything I can remember having. It is.
You've never had it.
It has a very thin texture. It's almost watery, but it's also, the more I drink it, the boozier it seems to get, which is weird because it's usually the opposite. Usually it's the more you drink it, the booziness kind of dissipates a little.
All right. So you guys in watching right now, tell me if you ever had it. It's Buffalo Trace fat washed.
Fat washed? What kind of fat is it washed with?
Butter. Process of brown butter washing bourbon. It adds weight and mouthfulness. Utterly unique.
You know what's interesting is I actually don't get like texture that you would think, fattiness, because I've had fat washed spirits before. I never would have guessed that with this.
Okay.
I don't get like mouthfeel or like fattiness, not because you don't.
They strain it a bunch.
Yeah, you don't normally, but what I'm saying is normally you do get a thicker, more velvety kind of texture to it. And this really doesn't have that. This has a thinner, wispier kind of almost evaporates right away kind of texture to it. And there's a lot of brightness, the flavors. There's a bright kind of forward citrusy, peaty, grassy kind of thing going on.
So the person that donated that walked me through the whole process. I'm like,
I've seen it done on YouTube before. I've seen people fat wash with butter, with brown butter, with bacon fat, with coconut, cream of coconut, and some other stuff before. I've never tried it because it looks like a lot of work, like a long process. But I'm happy to try that. I can say I've had my my first brown. I've had I've had bacon fat washed whiskey before, but this is my first brown butter fat washed whiskey. But yeah, grateful to try it. Definitely not a home run, but it's very interesting, very different. I would want to see what this would be like in an old fashioned.
David Floyd said he wants his washed in Margot Robbie's bathwater.
Well, you send her a PM on Instagram and let me know how that goes. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. The FBI will probably get involved. All right, should we do a little
lightning round?
Little lightning round?
Sure.
Brought to us by our friends at J.C. Newman Cigar Company, America's oldest family-owned premium cigar maker, creators of the popular Brick House, Perla Del Mar, Diamond Crown, and The American. J.C. Newman Cigar Company operates out of their 112-year-old El Redondo cigar factory in historic Cigar City, Tampa, Florida. For more information on their cigars or visitor experience, please visit jcnewman.com. All right. Fresh, quick lightning round question for each of us this evening. This is interesting.
Right.
If you were contacted on Earth by aliens from another planet, who would you recommend that they go talk to be their sort of greeter or touchstone person to guide them through the throes of Earth?
Gandhi.
He's dead.
Oh, you didn't say living or alive.
Oh, well, I mean, if it happened now.
That was lightning round. So, okay.
In general and in anything, and
who are they going? Who's our spokesperson for Earth?
For Earth, exactly.
Who's gonna like keep them from either killing us or like saving us? One of the two.
Elon is already one of them, so he already talks their language. That is, okay. Yeah. Elon, I think he might be from a different planet, not this one. He's so scary smart, but he's also hilarious. Guy cracks me up.
I'm gonna stick to the cigar community.
Well, who?
I'm gonna send him the Coop.
Cool.
Oh boy.
That is a fantastic answer. I'm so mad I didn't think of that myself. What a great answer.
And
wow.
He's going to find out what the aliens think about Matt LaFleur. we'll see if they're on the same page. I'm very curious.
Their computers are probably more powerful and can run even stronger, like statistics gathering.
Yeah.
So they'll be like,
okay,
Coop, you're crazy.
Did you put that up for you, or did you put that up when I said it?
I put it up when you said it. Tag him in case he's not in the comments still, so he'll come back. Neil deGrasse, just to shock the shit out of him.
That's a good answer. Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's a great answer. Honestly, even after reading this question off the screen, I'm having trouble, but I agree with the cigar community thing. I'm gonna say I'm trying to think of somebody who is like publicly notable, like in the world at large, who's also a cigar person, who's also sane.
You got to leave that last one out. You disagree with me, Coop? You wouldn't want to talk to the aliens? It's perfect to send it to you,
Coop. I think you'd be a great candidate to be the first one to sit down and offer.
And I just want to sit in the corner
and a conversation to the aliens. I'd just put it on your podcast, Coop. Just interview them.
We're just going to have a cigar with the aliens and talk it out, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it's all about.
Oh, Herklot's
a good one.
That's a good one. Herklot's, that's a really good one.
If everybody just sat down with the aliens and had a good cigar, I think we can figure a lot of shit out.
I agree.
You know?
Aliens don't exist. Well, I'm with you, Coop. I agree there, but
do you agree with that?
It's a hypothetical scenario.
Oh, Dax says Pete Johnson would be a good one.
That's a good one. Oh man,
I'm still going with you, Coop. You can put anybody's name you want out there.
Terrence Riley,
You're my pick.
Coop, I don't disagree with your suggestion of Terrence Riley, but Terrence might scare them with his intellect. Possibly. Cigar guy Ed Trevino, that's not a bad guess. Not a bad person to choose.
Matty Booth might kill him.
Booth. Honestly, he speaks their language, I bet. Honestly, I bet Boofy would. They would be like best friends, and they'd be riding, down Sunset Boulevard in a lowrider, and having cigars and Room 101 gin, and they'd be wearing his sterling silver skull jewelry by the time they got to the end of the block. That would be awesome.
So I just Googled something. So I'm going with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I don't even know what that is, but
which country?
I don't know. It just says retained his position as the world's most populous leader with an approval rate of 76%. For the data released by U.S. Consulting from Morning Consult on December 7th.
I don't know who that is. If anybody knows who that is, put it in the comments.
Prime
I don't know.
Minister
Chuck Norris. Paul Wood says his wife said Chuck Norris. That is a great one. I like that.
Really fast.
Man, one person who comes to mind is Steve Harvey. He's a cigar guy, and he's funny, and he's down to earth, and I don't know. I think at least the conversation might be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Steve Harvey.
Good call. Good call.
All right, should we jump into
next? Yeah.
Jump into notable smokables?
Notable smokables.
Yeah.
Notable smokables brought to us by our friends at Ace Prime Cigar. Ace Prime. Jeez. Blast from the past. I haven't said Ace Prime in years. What am I doing? Holy crap. Notable smokables brought to us by Luciano Cigars. Notable cigars, notable passion, notable purpose.
That was your one mess up this week.
That was interesting. Wow.
That's only screwed.
That was like literally way.
Yeah. You used
like
your one and
years in the
done.
past.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that's
maybe
all you did for the year.
We started talking about aliens and I just time traveled.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And for all you viewers out there, I just want you to notice how good Justin looks today with his new backdrop. No phasing in and out. Look at how beautiful that is.
I'm praying like the leaves right now. The leaves are praying. We're praying.
Reaching toward the heavens.
We're reaching towards the heavens.
He's saying, touchdown, Green Bay.
Aliens.
All right. So I copped out on this week's notable smokable for myself.
Why?
Because I put the Tatuaje Tuxtla Lomo de Cerdo.
Well, it's been like 3 weeks, so we've been smoking quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't had a show since before Christmas. So I just had to put
Raul's been thinking about his all day.
That's so last year.
I had to put this on the list this week. That's so 2023.
So,
yeah, that's right.
You guys are going to laugh. It's a Lancero from 2015.
Okay.
Opus X.
Oh.
It's been a while since you've had one of those.
Our friend down at Burn, James, gave me one the other day.
Nice.
And it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
My notable smokable over the Christmas, New Year's holiday break was the Davidoff Year of the Rabbit.
Oh, you smoked it?
Oh, nice.
2023. I smoked that. That was my first cigar of the year, so I didn't get to smoke it on New Year's Eve, but I smoked it the next morning, so that's all it counts.
Nice. What'd you think of it?
It was good. It was good overall. I liked it.
Yeah.
I like Davidoff. Usually doesn't.
Yeah, it was a good cigar. That was a good cigar. Yeah.
So my first cigar of the year was a Gurkha, 5 years old. And then my second cigar of the year, which is really soon after that one.
Yeah.
Was the Opus X you gave me. The little snubby dubby.
Oh, that was one of the Opus. Oh no, was that the one with the big tall curly Q on the top? Oh, I got that at Casa Fuente. That was a special edition BBMF Maduro. BBMF Oro, I think. Yeah.
That was pretty good too.
Nice.
But I had to go with the Lancero.
I'm curious, how was that Gurkha?
So what's the next or
So the first cigar that I smoked this year was I'm legit. Actually, I'm telling the truth. It was this Tuxla Loma de Cerdo. So
you're saying you got 2 bundles of those.
I did.
You got another one somewhere laying around there.
Yeah, I just had to. It was a good year for cigars. Yeah. I think things are looking up, and I think 2024 is going to be a pretty great year as well.
And that was brought to us by
Luciano Cigars.
Improving lives
through fine cigars. Visit lucianocigars.com to learn more.
And again, I want to thank Luciano for coming and hanging out with us.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was it right between Christmas and New Year's, or was it right? Yeah, it was. It was before New Year's.
Yeah, it was like that. It was that Saturday because I was trying to go somewhere Saturday night.
It was Saturday.
I was sliding all over the road, and then I got home, and you guys were like, "Hey, come meet us." And I'm like, I literally almost just ran off the road. I'm staying at home.
Yeah,
it's the icy everywhere. So.
Yeah, it was a Saturday before New Year's.
Yeah, that was a great time. Great visit. So let's talk about coming attractions. The first few awesome guests that we are going to have on the show in 2024, coming attractions brought to us by AJ Fernandez. Born and raised in Cuba, AJ Fernandez now produces unparalleled premium cigars in Esteli, Nicaragua. The AJ Fernandez portfolio of cigars provides blend, strength, and flavor profiles to match the preferences of any premium cigar consumer. Whether it's New World, Dias de Gloria, San Latano, Enclave, or Bellas Artes, you are sure to be satisfied with a premium cigar from AJ Fernandez. Next week, January 15th, we have none other than Honest Abe from Smoke Inn with a little preview of the Great Smoke 2024. January 22nd, we have none other than Jack Heyer from Camacho Cigars and Davidoff Cigars. And then on January 29th, closing out the first month of the year, Mickey Pegg from All Saints Cigars back on the show again. Very excited to talk to him. I hope he brings his A game. I mean, and by brings his A game, I want him to have like a half a pint of scotch before the show even starts.
He is definitely entertaining when he gets to come.
Oh, I can't wait. He's always a blast to talk to. So guys, thank you for a great 2023. Make sure to hit all of the buttons. You can find us on howaboutthatcigar.com. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, TikTok, YouTube. You will find us on all of those at HBT Cigar. 2023 was a great year, and we thank you guys for being with us. Make sure, if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, click the like button, click the subscribe button so you don't miss anything that we have going on. If you're listening after the fact on the audio podcast, thank you so much for making us a part of your favorite audio podcast platform. Like and subscribe to the audio podcast so you don't miss any of those episodes. If you have questions for us, like I said, you can email us on the website.
Quit touching your nipples.
howaboutthatcigar.com. And Raul's got some
you guys are each
swag.
touching his nipples now.
No, I was just pointing.
Down here.
Oh, sorry.
These might be on our website soon. If
Yes.
you guys are looking for polos, or I don't even know what they call these.
Those are, I think, those are called quarter zips.
Quarter zips.
Yeah, and these are really, really nice ones. So I think we might have these available soon. And also, I know for an absolute fact we will have available very soon. At the very least, how about that cigar lighters and cutters and ashtrays?
Mm-hmm.
So those will be available extremely soon, and we cannot wait to show you guys the prototypes because those are an exciting new project for us as well, leading into 2024. Man, it's already January 8th. I I swear to you, I'm still trying to get used to the fact that it's 2023 and 2023 is already over.
That's
so now
how
it's
it goes.
So now it's 20. Yeah. So I hope 2023 went well. I think it did. It
For
just
How About
went,
That Cigar? I mean, it's officially over now after this show. So I mean, you're not
After
too
this-
far behind.
yeah. It's just the older I get, man, it's like every year
Goes
feels
by
like a
faster,
blink.
faster, yep.
No.
Feels like an absolute blink. And we appreciate you guys watching and listening so much. The fact that you guys come along the ride with us to learn about these cigars and the people who make them, it means the world to us, and we appreciate every second of it. So stick with us. If there's anybody you want to see on the show, email us or hit us up on Facebook. Send us a message somewhere. If there's a topic you want us to cover, if you want us to pair something, if there's a cigar you want us to review and publish on howaboutthatcigar.com, let us know. Any input you guys have is just going to make us better. We really appreciate it. So whether it's kudos or pats on the back or good job, or I think that thing you did sucks, or I think that cigar that you gave a 89 to should have been a 98 and you guys are idiots. Any feedback is all good feedback. Please let us know. So on behalf of Justin, Raul, I am Matt Ty. Jesus Santos, thank you for hanging out in the studio with us, brother. This has been episode 228 of How About That Cigar Live. And of course, until we see you guys next time, burn cigars,
Not bridges.
Thanks, guys. Any comments, opinions, viewpoints, or statements presented or uttered by guests on the HBTC podcast, HBTC live video streams, and all other media from HBT Media LLC are solely those of the individual and do not necessarily represent the opinions or viewpoints of How About That Cigar or its parent company, HBT Media LLC, any of our advertising partners, or the premium cigar industry. The primary purpose of How About That Cigar is to entertain and to encourage activity and growth within the community of people who enjoy or want to learn about the enjoyment of premium cigars.